ahead and start. We are thrilled to have you join the Treatment and Recovery Resource Meeting. This meeting is a product of the Treatment and Recovery Committee for the Governor's Alabama Opioid Overdose and Addiction Council. These virtual calls are designed to provide valuable insights, resources, and support for professionals involved in helping someone gain access to treatment and recovery resources. Each meeting will feature 2 to 3 dynamic speakers representing different organizations who will share the resources they have available to support our important work in the field of treatment and recovery. These meetings will occur on the first and third Wednesday of every month at 12 p.m., so please continue to join us as they occur throughout the year and feature new agencies with each meeting. The Zoom link will remain the same for each meeting this calendar year. Each agency will have 15 minutes to share about their services and referrals, followed by 5 minutes for any questions our attendees may have. We ask all participants to remain muted during the presentations, and when we open for Q&A, you can unmute yourself to either ask the question or you can put it in the chat, and either I will ask it or whoever's presenting at the time will ask the question. Without further delay, I'm excited to introduce the 2 agencies for today, which is the Shoulder, I can't talk, y'all, sorry, and CED Mental Health Center. So we will go ahead and start with the Shoulder. Do you need access to share your screen at all?
Well, I am not able to show you my face because of my webcam not working, but
You're
I
good,
can
no worries.
certainly share my screen with you if you'd like.
Yes, I shared it, or I gave you access, so if you want to share anything, you're good too. But if
Okay.
you don't have anything to share, you're good. No worries. You can just present
Okay.
without it.
Well, let me first by saying thank you. I appreciate the invitation to speak to the group today. My name is Stephen Carr. I'm the executive director for the Shoulder. We are located in South Alabama. We are a substance abuse treatment center located in South Alabama, and we have 2 facilities. One is in Baldwin County in Spanish Fort, and our second facility is located in Mobile. And that the treatment centers for men and women. The one in Baldwin County in Spanish Fort is for men, and the women's center is located in Mobile. We have 3 levels of treatment, all certified by the Alabama Department of Mental Health. In Spanish Fort, we have 2 levels of care for our men. It is the 3.1 level of care, our low intensity residential treatment program, and our 3.01 level of care, the transitional residential treatment program. And then in Mobile, we have a 42-bed facility for women. We have 16 beds that is dedicated to our 3.5 program, which is our high-intensity residential treatment program. And we also have 26 beds, which is dedicated to our 3.1 low-intensity residential treatment program. The organization was actually founded. I was doing some research on this, looking back through all of the archives, and I found the original foundational incorporation document. It was signed October the 12th, 1985. So the Shoulder is actually in its 40th year of operation. The first facility that it opened was on the Mobile Causeway. If you're familiar with South Alabama and Mobile, the Battleship Causeway, where you see the USS Alabama docked, is where the Shoulder originally had its first facility. And that facility was in operation from 1988 until 2005, actually. And Hurricane Katrina took care of that facility. It was destroyed in Hurricane Katrina, and we lost that ability to treat clients there. And so the Shoulder transitioned and had a temporary facility in Daphne for a few years, and then opened its permanent facility in Spanish Fort in 2012. In October of 2021, we opened up the women's facility in Mobile, and from there we've been operational there since then. So entering our 40th year of operation, and so the Shoulder's been through quite a few iterations in that time, having started out as a small prayer group, and then moving into one-on-one sort of treatment for men who were struggling with alcohol and drug abuse problems. and then to where we are today, an 82-bed substance abuse treatment facility. What areas of the state do we cover? We cover the entire state. We receive referrals from all over the region, really, in the Southeast. We've received referrals as far away as Denver, Colorado, but primarily our services are in the region, from the Southeast region: Tennessee, Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia, and Florida. I've already talked to you about the levels of care that we provide. Um, some information that I'd like to share with you. Let me see if I can find this place where I can share my screen. So let me pull this document up, show it with you here. So I'll share my screen real quick, and then I'm going to pull this document up for you. Can you all see that? You're able to see that, Leah?
I don't think so. Did you
You don't
select
think so?
the screen share thing at the bottom?
Yeah, I did. Let's see. Allow. Let's see. Window. Let me see. This one. Okay. Let me try that. Can you see that?
Yes, we can see that.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So this is a document that uh, that I was able to pull together as I took over the facility or the organization. I began my tenure as the executive director in January of 2024. And so what we've done is we've taken all of the documents from all of the years that we've been in operation, and we've condensed that information down into some uh, easily digestible material. And we're updating all of our brochure and publication material. But I wanted to share with you just real quickly a high level overview. This is our vision, mission, and approach document. You can see there that the shoulder seeks to facilitate positive, long-lasting change in the lives of the clients that we treat, and also within the communities that we serve. We believe in being good partners in the community, and we are reaching out to organizations that are like ours, that treat individuals like we do, but also into the larger business community, and trying to be a resource for them as they take care of the employees that they have within their organizations, schools, churches. We want to find hope in recovery, and we want to share the message of hope in recovery in all the communities where we work. This mission statement has never changed. We want to restore individuals and their families who struggle with alcohol and drug abuse by providing quality, affordable treatment in a safe, secure Christian environment. That was the original mission statement from 1985. Our approach is really based on three pillars: recovery orientation, 12 steps, spirituality. Then this next document talks about our clinical philosophy. I'll be glad to send this to you, Leah. I did send it earlier, that, if you want to share it with the group. But this just breaks down our clinical philosophy, our holistic approach, the fact that we incorporate 12 steps in our approach, and spiritual development is a component of our practice as well. Our treatment programs, again, I've described those to you. There's our low-level intensity, transitional, and high-intensity program. Brief history: who we are. We serve adults over the age of 19. We provide referral services, and we also provide services for some co-occurring disorders. We can't treat severe mental illness, but we do provide services for some co-occurring and medical conditions, depending on the severity of those cases. We do assessments, we provide continuing services, and we provide aftercare and alumni support. Here are the services that are offered and a brief description of some of the fees. So we have an initial admission fee of $500. That is a down payment fee that clients pay when they come in. That covers the first 2 to 4 weeks of treatment, depending on the level of care that they're in. We do provide assessments, depending on if the client has an assessment before they come to us or if we need to do one ourselves. And then weekly fees are based on a sliding scale, whatever the client is able to pay based on their work, the type of work that they do, the expenses after, accounting for their income, and then their fees, weekly fees to the shoulder is based on that budget. No person is ever turned away for admission based on their inability to pay. And so we do have some scholarship opportunities for clients based on the availability of funds. We operate based on some block grant funding that we receive through the Alabama Department of Mental Health, as well as private fundraising, grants, and gifts and donations. So with that, I'll be glad to answer any questions that you might have about the shoulder and what we do.
I know you might have mentioned it, but I did not listen for a second. Is there like a specific like sex that you guys like accommodate to, or is it men or women?
It's both. We have treatment programs for both men and women, not at the same site.
Yes, if anyone has any other questions, they can either say it now or they can put it in the chat. Either or is fine. All right. If you don't have any questions, then now we will hear from CED Mental Health Center.
Okay, and let me clarify, and I know it's confusing, Leah. It's actually referred to as CED mental health
Okay, good to know.
because that's yes. And if you Google and look up CED, you'll find all kind of businesses. It's kind of interesting. But anyway, we're a comprehensive mental we're in Northeast Alabama, Cherokee, Etowah, and DeKalb counties are the initials there. It's the mental health board, but we do business as CED Mental Health. Um, in our area, you might know where Gadsden is. We're out there off I-59 coming from Birmingham. We're in an area where we have two urban locations, Gadsden and Attala, and everything else is rural. We are a 310 operated facility. We've been in operation since 1971. Now, it was not, of course, what it is now, but that was the beginning of CED mental health. And we actually provide mental health, substance abuse, residential services, and we have a lot of partners for services like Stephen was talking about from his substance abuse program. For us, substance abuse has become something that has covered from our children's services, our adult services, our residential services. So we do a lot of co-occurring work. Um, Most of our services are usually referred by the drug courts and from other types of courts. And that's something we've gotten into more heavily now in our area. Um, our organization actually serves an area that's a little over 210,000 population for Cherokee, Etowah, and DeKalb. But because of our scattered out area, sometimes we have to do a lot of partnerships to get access to the services people need. For us, everything is on a sliding scale. So we become very popular for services because we're not going to turn someone away because they can't afford to pay for the services. In our area, we actually have a all outpatient service type of modalities as far as the three counties, but we also have partners for residential services like New Life for Women, CED Fellowship House, Rafa House. So we even have a detox self-recovery group that's in our Cherokee County that's associated with our hospital there. So we really have a lot of partners there as far as support. And we have some new developments with some of our services in our area. When I say we're into courts, we have mental health group home. We have a not guilty by reason of insanity group home. We have supportive housing. So we're getting referrals from court systems, district, circuit, and so forth. And recently, we just started a new program, a new bridge program that is working with the Etowah County court system, sheriff's office, detention center. Unfortunately, if you came to Gadsden, the tallest building you will see is the detention facility. It's over 900. So it is a large facility, it takes a lot of people in. So we're getting a lot of referrals for substance abuse services now, in addition to the population that's out in our community, which is a good thing. And the corrections and probation parole officers are really good about giving that support to us. And we are following up with all the different levels of the courts. Um, right now, it's not any given day that we won't receive multiple referrals from the court system, and that's not a bad thing. We want to get people into services, and everybody's real supportive of each other. One of the things in our area is that we actually do pool some of our resources because we are so spread out. Everything that here in Gadsden, the rest of our area would love to have, but we've got to work out transportation for most of our folks. And so far, all of our local providers have been very forthcoming and helping us with that transportation. But we're hoping to build on that with a grant that will help us because it's just hard for people who may live in Fort Payne and up in the top of DeKalb County, where you may know where Rainsville or some of these other cities are. It is hard to get people to their services. So we've got a lot of partners that are transporting and trying to help us, plus the existing providers that are there in DeKalb County for substance abuse services. So our world has changed in terms of getting more people in. We're doing what they call stepping up in all three counties. So somebody's designated to each of the detention centers. So those case managers are starting to connect more people with services, which is a good thing as well. In the past, they just would not have had that support as they're trying to leave the detention center. So we're crossing a lot of areas with all the other providers and teaming up with them as a group. And that's not a bad thing. That's actually good. And we also have a NAMI chapter in our area that's very supportive of mental health and substance abuse types of services. So we've got a larger group of people supporting and helping us to carry out the substance abuse services now. And I know when Stephen talked about his residential, we're always looking for facilities that will help us for those that are co-occurring. Sometimes that's a struggle sometimes for us when everything's full, it's full. But that's something that's an ongoing battle. And we try to make sure that everybody who goes to a residential program has that month's supply of medication and that we can follow up with them, make sure that there's no downtime for their medications they need for mental illness while they're getting treatment for substance abuse. So that's become a pretty common practice for us overall. And if you're ever in the Gadsden area, come to some of the events or anything, you'll see how beautiful it is up here. We go from the Gadsden area to the Weiss Lake area to DeKalb County and those beautiful mountains. But like I said, we're very spread out, so we have a lot of linkage to each other and partnerships that we didn't have previously, which is not a bad thing. That's a very good thing. And we're really proud of having a new detox in our area that's working with us because that was a problem in the past, getting support for people. So it just keeps growing for us in our area. And hopefully we'll keep forming more partnerships and making this possible. We're also working on being a CCBHC. So our hands are pretty full with all these aspects, but that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. And I don't have any slides to put up or anything. Been real busy with these other things. I'm sorry, Leah.
No, you're good. Thank you.
Okay.
Does anyone have any questions? Either you can put in the chat or just ask it. Either or is fine.
Hey, my name is Anna Holmes, and I'm here in Birmingham, and I work for the Crisis Center and
Yes.
for 988. And this is really for both of y'all. Do you take self referrals, or do they have to be referred by a doctor or another organization?
Thank you, Anna. They can be self-referrals. We welcome any of the referrals, and I'm good to put a name with the 988 that's next door to us. We always, in fact, we even have screening clinics at the beginning of the week because we started doing that so that we could get people into services quickly, regardless if it's mental health or substance abuse. So it's like an open door, and we have designated staff that will do those screenings so we don't have people worried about, I can't get in for weeks and that sort of thing. So yes, self-referral is always okay with us. That's good.
And can you give us a telephone number to you guys?
Yes. Yes. 256
Okay.
49. Okay. 256 492 7800. And for our three counties, Anna, when you call that, all three counties, the front desk is capable and they answer for each other so we don't get drop calls. So they just need to let us know what county they're in at the time they're calling about the services so we connect them to the right person, location, and so forth.
Okay. And what
And
about
we take self referrals as well. Our main number is area code 251 626 2199.
beautiful?
And we do have, like Sheila was talking about, we have legally motivated clients. We work with drug courts in both Mobile and Baldwin County, as well as drug courts throughout the state. And so we have a variety of referral sources, self-referred, other treatment facilities, drug courts, Department of Corrections. But so our clients come to us in a variety of different ways. If they've not already had an ASAM assessment, we can provide that. We can do those assessments either telehealth or over the phone, or they can come to one of our facilities where we'll get them scheduled to do those assessments, and then we'll schedule them for a time, for intake and admission. We do sometimes have a waiting list. It just depends on what our census looks like. Today, for instance, I may have beds available at both facilities, and I may have folks scheduled to come in this week based on assessments that have already been done. And then on other days, I may be able to take someone in either or facility that same day. It just depends. She was talking about transportation. We partner with a lot of agencies to help get clients to us, depending on where they're located throughout the region. And so we have program administrators at both facilities. Sky Ezel is our program administrator in Baldwin County, and Alicia Patrick is our program administrator in Mobile. And they work to coordinate and schedule intakes and assessments and admissions and all of those things on a daily basis.
Great. Thank you so much, both of y'all, for the information.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, Lee.
Yes. All right. So thank you to the Shoulder and CED Mental Health Center for taking the time to present today. And thank you all for joining. We hope that you learned something new about a resource available to you in Alabama for treatment and recovery. Please join us on April 2nd for our next virtual meeting and have a great day. Thank you, everyone.